Good morning. I will now call to order the November 23, 2022 Clackamas County Board of Commissioners business meeting. Gary, would you please take the roll?
Yes, Chair Smith. First, our staff support today. Clerk to the Board, Tony Mayernick. County Counsel, Stephen Madcore. Roll call, Commissioner Savas.
Present.
Commissioner Schrader.
Here.
Commissioner Fisher.
Here.
Commissioner Shull.
Here.
Chair Smith.
Here. Excuse me, here. Please rise and I'll lead the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. We are holding this business meeting on Wednesday because tomorrow, Thursday, is Thanksgiving. We are holding this meeting in person and virtually. If you've joined us via Zoom for this meeting and are interested in providing public comment, we will prompt you to do that when the time is right. General public comment will be taken at the usual allotted time. I would like to remind all participants, including staff, all elected officials, and members of the public that Robert's Rules of Order will be enforced in this business meeting. We welcome your opinions and look forward to your polite participation. Gary, County Administrator, can you introduce the first item?
Yes, Chair Smith, thank you. Today, our main item, your main item of business, is the consent agenda, and that is the next item. Tony, would you please read the consent agenda?
Elected officials, item 1, approval of previous business meeting minutes for the Board of County Commissioners. Item 2, approval of a grant application lifecycle form authorizing the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office to apply for an urban areas security initiative grant from the Department of Homeland Security to enhance the capabilities of the Aero unit. Requested grant value is $493,375 with no match requirement. No county general funds are involved. Item 3, approval of a goods and services contract with Command Sourcing Incorporated for jail bed replacement and installation. Contract value not to exceed $879,814. Funding is through budgeted county general funds. Item 4, approval of Amendment 1, increasing funding of the Justice Reinvestment Grant from the Oregon Criminal Justice Commission. Amendment value is $35,000. Grant value is increased to $2,402,982.26. Amendment is funded through the state of Oregon. No county general funds are involved. Item 5, approval of a contract with the city of Gladstone to provide community service work crews. Contract value is $25,000 over 5 years. Funding is through the city of Gladstone. No county general funds are involved. Finance, item 1, approval of a resolution approving an appropriations transfer for fiscal year 2022-2023. Appropriations transfer is $4.7 million from general fund contingency funds to general fund operating expenses. Funding is through budgeted county general funds. Disaster management, item 1, approval of a subrecipient grant agreement with the Oregon State Police for a federal fiscal year 2021 hazardous materials emergency preparedness grant to provide training to the local emergency preparedness committee and other emergency responders. Grant value is $21,000 with an in-kind match of $5,250 in staff time. Funding is through the U.S. Department of Transportation and staff time paid through budgeted county general funds. Health, Housing, Human Services, item 1, approval of an amendment for a one-time payment from a revenue agreement with Care Oregon Incorporated for the Operational Quality Incentive Program. Amendment value is $800,000 for 6 months. Ongoing projected revenue remains at $2,760,000 per year. Funding is through Care Oregon. No county general funds are involved. Item 2, approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the Gladstone School District to embed a mental health specialist at Gladstone High School. Agreement value is $61,521 for 7 months. Funding is through the Gladstone School District. No county general funds are involved. Item 3, approval of an amendment increasing funding and extending the duration of an intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Department of Human Services for the Senior Health Insurance Benefits Assistance Senior Medicare Patrol Program. Amendment value is $15,800 for 1 year. Agreement value is increased to $25,800 for 2 years. Funding is through the Federal Senior Medicare Patrol Grant. No county general funds are involved. Item 4, approval of an amendment increasing funding of an intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Department of Human Services for the Oregon Money Management Program in Clackamas County. Amendment value is $231,617.34 for 1 year. Agreement value is increased to $1,100,000 $1,001,642.13 for 4 years. Funding is through the state of Oregon. No county general funds are involved. Item 5, approval of an amendment extending duration of a subrecipient grant agreement with Metropolitan Family Services to continue Family Resource Coordinator Services in North Clackamas County. Amendment extends grant for 6 months. Grant value remains at $146,119, now for 21 months. Funding is through the Oregon Early Learning Division. No county general funds are involved. Item 6, approval of an amendment changing reporting frequency to an intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority for community restoration services. Amendment has no fiscal impact. Agreement value remains at $764,788 for 1 year. Funding is through the Oregon Health Authority. No county general funds are involved. Item 7, approval of an amendment extending duration and modifying payments to 3 intergovernmental agreements with Clackamas Fire District Number 1, the City of Lake Oswego, and Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue District for ambulance services. Combined fiscal impact is $236,228.76 for 1 year. Agreement combined value is now $2,553,670.61 for 9.67 years. Funding is through American Medical Response Northwest. No county general funds are involved. Item 8, approval of an intergovernmental agreement with Washington County to partner on a notice of funding opportunity for the ballot measure 108 Commercial Tobacco Prevention Community Grant. Agreement value is $110,000 for 7 months. Funding is provided by Washington County. No county general funds are involved. Item 9, approval of a public improvement contract with GSI Builders Incorporated to build the Clackamas Volunteers in Medicine Health Clinic in Oregon City. Total contract value is $1,699,668, funded through Community Development Block Grant, CARES Act funds, and secured Clackamas Volunteers in Medicine funds. No county general funds are involved. Transportation and Development, item 1, approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Department of Transportation for a pedestrian safety marketing and enforcement campaign. Agreement value is $75,000 for 1 year with a $19,126.08 match. Funding is through the Oregon Department of Transportation and the County Road Fund. No county general funds are involved. Item 2, approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Department of Transportation for a driving while impaired marketing and enforcement campaign. Agreement value is $50,000 for 1 year with a $14,548.12 match. Funding is through the Oregon Department of Transportation and the County Road Fund. No county general funds are involved. Item 3, approval of an intergovernmental agreement with Washington County and the City of Wilsonville related to the Stafford Road at 65th Avenue temporary traffic signal and traffic control changes at 65th Avenue at Ellingson Road project. Agreement value is $5,000 for 1 year. Funding is through the County Road Fund. No county general funds are involved. Item 4, approval of a board order authorizing a property transfer agreement for the Sunrise Corridor project with the Oregon Department of Transportation. No fiscal impact. No county general funds are involved. Item 5, approval of a board order authorizing a purchase order for traffic marking paint from NS Flint Incorporated through a State of Washington cooperative contract. Purchase order value is $400,000. Funding is through the County Road Fund. No county general funds are involved. Item 6, approval of a personal services contract with Star Cars LLC for equipment installation for marked and unmarked county vehicles and sheriff patrol vehicles. Contract value is $710,000 over 4.6 years. Funding is through budgeted county general funds for the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, the Clackamas County Public Safety Local Option Levy, and Clackamas County Enhanced Law Enforcement District funds. Item 7, approval of an amendment extending the duration, modifying scope of work, and increasing funding to a contract with Consor North America Incorporated, formerly Murray Smith Incorporated, for the Jennings Avenue, Oregon 99E to Oatfield Road project. Amendment value is $188,189.87 for 1.5 years. Contract value is now $1,280,660.62 for 4.7 years. Funding is through the Federal Surface Transportation Program and the County Road Fund. No county general funds are involved. Madam Chair, that concludes the list.
Thank you, Tony. Does any commissioner wish to remove anything from the consent agenda? Seeing none, Tony, would you please call the poll? Oh, I need a motion first, excuse me.
I move we
Approve.
give thumbs up, approve to the consent agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Schrader has moved approval of the consent agenda. Commissioner Fisher has seconded that. Now, is there any discussion, or does any commissioner wish to pull anything? Seeing none, Tony, please take the poll.
Commissioner Savas,
Aye.
Commissioner Scholl,
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher,
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader,
Aye.
Chair Smith.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. I will now recess to the Board of County Commissioners and convene as the Development Agency Board.
This is the consent agenda for the Development Agency. Tony, would you please read the consent agenda?
Development Agency Consent Agenda, one item, approval of an order authorizing a property transfer agreement for the Sunrise Corridor project with the Oregon Department of Transportation. No fiscal impact, no county general funds are involved.
Thank you, Tony. Does any commissioner wish to remove anything off this consent agenda? I will entertain a motion.
I move for approval of the Development Agency consent agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Scholl has moved for approval of the Development Agency consent agenda. Commissioner Schrader has seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Tony, please call the poll.
Commissioner Fisher,
Aye.
Commissioner Scholl,
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader,
Aye.
Commissioner Savas,
Aye.
Chair Smith.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. I will now adjourn as a development agency and convene as a Water Environment Services.
This is the consent agenda for Water Environment Services. Tony, would you please read the consent agenda?
Water Environment Services, one item, approval of a personal services contract with Carollo and Engineering Incorporated for design services for the Clackamas Area Interceptor Project. Contract not to exceed $3,731,573 over 4 years and 7 months. Funding is through Water Environment Services Operating Fund. No county general funds are involved.
Does any commissioner wish to remove anything off this consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the Water Environmental Services consent agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Savas has moved for approval of the Water Environment Services consent agenda. Commissioner Schrader has seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Tony, please call the poll.
Commissioner Savas,
Aye.
Commissioner Scholl,
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher,
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader,
Aye.
Chair Smith.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. I will now adjourn as a Water Environment Services Board and reconvene as a Board of County Commissioners. Wow, that was fast. Now we have public communication. This portion of the agenda shall be limited to items of county business which are properly the object of board consideration and should be nonpartisan in nature, as the BCC is a nonpartisan governing body under Oregon Revised Statutes and County Code. Testimony is limited to 3 minutes. Comments shall be respectful and courteous to all. As a reminder, you can email submissions for public communications at bcc@clackamas.us, and these will be accepted as part of the public record. However, we will not be reading them at the business meeting. I will now open the meeting for public testimony and take the first in person. Alice Richmond. How do you do? Please come forward. That's okay. We have time. We have time. Please come forward, madam.
Get over here. I said, get over here. Here, you can pick that up. Everybody gets 2 of them. That's it. Yeah, this should be there so you can just roll me.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea.
That's a very good idea, is right. Okay, everybody, greetings, and happy Thanksgiving for tomorrow. It's good to see all your faces. Somehow, Republicans first, Democrats second. Sorry.
Welcome.
And
Please state your name.
That's my
Thank you.
privilege after 90 years old.
Okay.
Okay? Tuthi, it looks good to see you. Listen, you guys, I have an article that I am going to respond in here, and I'm going to leave you with you guys why I'm here. It disturbs me a lot. This, I don't have my glasses, but Savas reelected to Fort McLevin on Clackamas County, but nobody voted for me, and her name is Ford or something like that, okay? I'm
Thank
not
you.
making it up.
Okay, Tony will get that, and he will submit it into the record.
I was
Thank
gonna-
you very
well,
much.
Who's you over there? Anyway, I think that's a blasphemy to our heritage when I read an article like that. To respond on something that is not of someone's liking or opinion. They forget they are in the United States of America, not just America. And so, and somebody's going to say, well, Al, you got an accent again, all right? I've been in the United States for 75 years. Who is older than that?
Nope.
I am. Because I was almost 20, so put that on the 75 year, all right? And I'm here, even with my cane and God's strength, to speak about the humankind of constitutional right to start with, to respond to this person, because I figured that if she put that article in the newspaper, hopefully she is looking at my face through all this technology, whatever you call it, on her laptop or screen. You're going to like that. But, you know, it is, what can I say? I see her face on the newspaper. She's a beautiful girl. It's sad to know me that she has a nasty attitude about why she didn't get elected. To start with, I don't even know who she is. Somebody wants to be elected. If Alice doesn't know it in the Clackamas County, let alone Oregon, it's what I'm consider zeros. Secondly is, if she's not, it's a she, I think, yeah. If she doesn't know the Constitution and this is a democracy, the majority speaks. I wasn't even born in this country, but by God, I have to learn it, or the judge in New York City would have sent me back twice to school to learn it. And he did, just about. Marry the child in your arm or not. And so there's no reason not to even know it. But to me, it's an offensive thing to read an article like that. And I'm thinking that often than not, a publisher would not write somebody else's opinion in the newspaper if it is not kosher, like to say in New York. But if it is there, he is also sending a message. Hey, you people out there, here's a person that is writing this kind of a thing about your opinion, your democracy, freedom of speech. I don't take that. Whether I am 10 years old, over 90, and if I see 100 to live on, I'll be coming in here to talk about it. And so that upset me that nobody else in here, I thought it would be somebody else would also respond to that. But then people are busy and they don't pay attention to those kind of things. It's good in a way, you know, you have to stop these kind of people with your own, not objection, but response. And so we fought a lot in the United States territory to speak. And not me, I wasn't even born when they started to fight for this thing in here. But it gives me the freedom now to speak. We're all the same. I don't care if you're what kind of skin you have, whether it's a crocodile and you need a special soap, like they said in the commercial, or whether it's this and that. We are all God's human being. And so when I read a person that is what you call, I'm going to translate this from French, from Armenian to English, I hope, very narrow-minded person that would write something like that. It's not even whether it's the law or not. It's common sense. You respect somebody else's opinion. You don't have to follow it, absorb it, but don't insult somebody else's democratic privilege to speak their mind. And so, saying that, I hope people will learn to respect, if nothing else, respect. It's even a short word, it's almost, it spells the same thing in French. I don't know about in German. I don't know about in Greek, about that. Definitely not spelling the same in Armenian, not even in Greek. But respect, it is very well, knowledgeable thing that if you don't learn it in school, at home, hopefully they are teaching it in school. You're not going to learn it otherwise. I feel sorry. And this is what I wanted to come and speak about it, that woman has a zero credit with me as I'm concerned, because she forfeited her right when she writes a note like that, putting us all in the same bag. There was another woman that had an article one time, again in the newspapers, and then she spoke about all women. Well, I tore her down too. She might want to speak for herself as a woman, but she ain't going to speak for this woman. Whether I am again 10 years old or 100 years old, as long as God's going to give me not the opportunity, but the thing I can speak, I'm going to do it. Whether it's kind of broken because since I have my stroke, it's a couple things is missing in there, but it's not the intelligence. It's the function of the speak. God wants me to talk not so much, maybe. Yeah, who knows? But other than that is, I don't want that woman think she is not a good person in that newspaper. She is. I didn't vote for her. I'm not going to be ashamed by saying it. I don't know her. I don't know where she come from, and etc. I read it. But you vote somebody that at least makes itself known, and then why and where. Period. It's we vote us residents or peons, if you want to call us, for the credit and the merit you accomplish. I read it, her thing, and there is no volunteering, there is no this, there is no that. Why am I going to vote for her, even for give her a chance at least once in the calendar, you see? And so saying that, I don't want other people to think that we are partial. I want them to think, if we don't know you and what you stand for, that we can check for it. You're not in my vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for the candy. We will enjoy it.
And this is not candies for children. It's coffee
Right.
and sugar.
Yes, my favorite flavor,
It's my
yes.
favorite, you see.
Thank you, and have a good
Yeah, give me
day.
your thumb.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Ready?
Yeah.
There we go.
And thank you, Commissioner Scholl, for helping.
That's 6 more years, and I'll hit 100. And God's willing, I'll come also in here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Tony, do we have anyone online?
Make it happen, yes, Bill.
Madam Chair, at this time, I do not have anybody registered to speak online. If there is anyone who would like to testify, please use the raise hand feature, and I will call on you in the order received. Madam Chair, I do not have any hands raised at this time.
Thank you very much. Let me know if anybody does get online. Now we're going to move on to the county administrator update. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to use my time to share the good news our county employees do every day to serve the public. First, our law library. Yes, we have a law library at Clackamas County. Our law library staff recently provided training to the circuit court staff to help civil file clerks and their supervisors who are on the front lines assisting residents with all court businesses and processes at our Clackamas County Courthouse. These trainings empower our courthouse staff in legal research, resources, and referrals. Some of our civil clerk employees responded these comments about the training they received from our law library staff. I learned so much. I'm looking forward to next time. Thank you for the great learning opportunity. I appreciate your sharing with our team, and I'm looking forward to a follow-up. So thank you to our law library staff, who not only supports the public, but also circuit court employees who are also serving the public. Next, I want to thank our Public Government Affairs, Technology Services, and the Social Services Division staff of Health, Housing, Human Services for their quick work in getting information out about warming centers during our recent cold weather. Our county staff provided training not only to our staff, but to representatives of the organizations in the community that provide the warming centers, how to provide instantaneous website updates so the community knows exactly when the warming centers are open, what time, what hours. So we have people from Zor Lutheran Church in Canby, the Malala Warming Center, and the Father's Heart, who all thanked us for the outstanding tool that helped them update the website, and our staff as well, all to help make sure the public knew exactly what time our warming centers were open immediately. So thank you to our Public Government Affairs, Technology Services, and H3S Social Services staff for that innovative way of doing business. Finally, Stephen Madcore. Stephen Madcore received an award last week. Did you know that? We're going to highlight you, Stephen. Stephen Madcore County Council received an award from the Oregon County Councils Association, which are all the county councils in the entire state of Oregon and all counties in the state. Stephen received the Lawrence R. Kressel Memorial Award. This award recognizes a county council in Oregon who exemplifies the thoughtful, courageous, humorous, and oft-times irreverent approach to the practice of county law mastered by Larry Kressel, a longtime county council for Multnomah County. So congratulations, Stephen, on your honor. All those words absolutely describe you and more. You're a credible credit to our organization. Congratulations.
Congratulations, very nice.
My good news. Thank you, Commissioners. That's it. Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you very much. Stephen, I didn't know that you were keeping secrets. But that's
anymore.
wonderful. I'll visit your office and your award shortly.
I hung it yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Well, you should. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now it's time for Commissioner Communication. Commissioner Fisher, you're up first.
Oh, thank you, Chair Smith. Well, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so this has really been Thanksgiving week. There's so much to be thankful for. I don't know if my colleagues have the opportunity in the morning to listen to a news podcast or tap into the international scene, but it's really, I just kind of want to say it's really cold out there when you look at what's happening in Ukraine and with electricity not available, people being just so cold and trying to flee where they've been living and all the war and the turmoil and the tragedy. And just my heart goes out to all of the challenges in the world, of which Ukraine is just one, and in dealing with hunger and all of the other challenges across our globe. There's a lot to be mindful of, and in our moment to just really have gratitude for where we are in the United States of America, in the state of Oregon, and of course in our precious Clackamas County. It would go without saying to miss the opportunity to say thank you to our employees. So thankful for that. We have members of AFSCME here in the audience reminding us how nothing happens in Clackamas County without our strong workforce. They make it happen, and it is so true. We couldn't be the strong, amazing Clackamas County without the wonderful workforce that we have here. And I just want to say there's so much to be thankful for the work that this board has done. If you look at some of the construction that's going on. I-205, Abernathy Bridge is being seismically upgraded. That work is underway. That's to be very thankful for. We have homeless services out in our community. We have an opportunity in this county for turnkey to help shelter more people. We have more affordable housing units than Metro expected us to create. We have invested in our public safety systems. We have 2 new libraries and a courthouse underway. This board will have the opportunity to approve a climate action plan, of which has had a tremendous amount of community input. For this county, there is so much to be thankful for. And can't go without saying, our precious families, I know that we all just cherish the people that are closest to us, our families that we choose or our families that we're born into or are adopted into. We have this opportunity over the next couple days next weekend to really embrace, have gratitude. And truly, at the end of the day, it's our relationships that sustain us and hold us and move us forward, as well as just providing the foundation for all that is important to us and all that we value. So I'm feeling very thankful, a lot of gratitude in my heart, and look forward to the next few days.
Thank you, Commissioner Fisher. Commissioner Schrader, you're up.
Well, I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to it myself. I'm going to go see some friends who I haven't seen in a while, which will really be fantastic, and actually talk my son into babysitting my dog, so I hope when I get back they're in one piece. We'll see if that happens. I want to wish the folks that asked me a happy Thanksgiving as well. I do believe that you make it happen. You are a wonderful group of folks, and appreciate your presence here. Have a great holiday, everyone. And that's about it for me. I've got a plane to catch.
All right.
Yeah.
Good for you. The busiest travel day of the year.
Yeah, I know.
You're
It's
more
gonna-
brave than I am.
It's going to be a glorious experience.
Yes,
so
yes, I'm
looking forward to it.
traveling, I'm not traveling that far.
I know.
Commissioner Savas, you're up.
Yeah, well, yesterday afternoon, I met with a local business owner who's got a number of locations in the western United States, and we had a conversation yesterday about acquisitions and the value of acquisitions, and most importantly, probably the biggest acquisition that when he bought a company was really the employees that came with that acquisition as just an important integral piece of the success of business, and it's a mutual relationship. And I value that as well in my years as running a small business in Clackamas County. So without our employees, we cannot do the good work that we do. So all our employees are appreciated. So that said, I was, when we talk about being thankful, I think there's, as citizens of this country, and knowing what Thanksgiving is all about, which really preceded a lot of immigrants who came here in the early 1900s. And Alice, who spoke earlier, came from the same part of the world that my family came from under some very difficult times. And a lot of people immigrated here from all around the world. And I think what we sometimes don't really recognize is that it's not all about the color of one's skin or their race or the language they speak or their difficulty. It's really about, we are the melting pot. We ought to be thankful for this country and everything it offers to everyone. And I certainly understand, and my family as well, coming from a mixed area. Ukraine is not that far away from where my family came from, but the plight of these wars and essentially the loss of life, mass genocide that my family had to suffer through. Some of our family made it out and came here as refugees in the early 1900s, and some of us did not make it. But that plight, unfortunately, war is still alive and well, unfortunately, and people are put at risk all the time. But there's a lot to be thankful for in this country, and I think we have to put that first and foremost, paramount really to a lot of things. When we talk about inequities, I think we you really can't compare. It's not to say that I've been hurt or, whatnot, more so than others. And certainly there are injustices that we live through, and we always work as a society to resolve those. But all to say, I'm thankful for everything that, where we are as a county. We have a lot of challenges ahead of us on behalf of our citizens. A lot to complain about, but a lot to be thankful for. So with that, I will conclude my comments and wish everyone the very best over this holiday weekend.
Thank you, Commissioner Savas. Commissioner Scholl, you're up.
Yes, good morning, Clackamas County, and good morning to the AFSCME union members here with us this morning. On suicide prevention, Oregon had the 13th highest rate of suicide in the nation in 2020 with 833 suicides. That number has come down a little bit in the last 2 years. But at the Association of Oregon County Conference last week, I learned something very troubling, and that is in Oregon, 45% of LGBTQ youth seriously considered attempting suicide in the past year. Nearly 1 in 5 transgender and binary youth attempted suicide. We must increase our awareness on this problem and increase our intervention, and it's going to take everybody in the county to get involved. Please see the Oregon Alliance to Prevent Suicide.org website, and also our own Clackamas County.us/behavioral health website. Learn all you can on this problem. And also note the 988 suicide crisis line. Put it on your refrigerator. On tolling, if you're getting stressed out or your family budget in light of inflation and the high cost of living in this state, you don't need tolling on I-205 or any other road. Please look at votebeforetolls.org. Consider signing their petition to put this issue on the ballot in 2024 for a vote of the people. On the timber sale advisory meeting next Tuesday, 70% of our land in Clackamas County supports the growth of forest products, trees. And next Tuesday, we will be discussing the wild trout harvest plan, which is a 3 million board feet sale on Wildcat Forest Tract, just east of Sandy. If you're interested in this, you can contact our county forester, Andrew Dobmeyer, adobmeyer@clackamas.us. Let him know how you feel and what your concerns are. Also, next Thursday, I'll be in Roseburg for the Association of Oregon and California Counties annual board meeting. So I'll be leaving here on Thursday afternoon and coming back Friday afternoon. On fentanyl and other killer drugs, as you're most likely all aware, our borders are being overwhelmed with the incursion of drugs into our nation. Our local police, our border patrol, our county sheriff deputies are being overwhelmed. Measure 110 has not been a friend of Oregon communities, families, and schools. I don't believe that anybody ever thought a few years ago that we would see Narcan vending machines being set up in the city of Portland. Parents, you must talk to your kids about this threat. Please see the No Second Chances Brandon story on our Clackamas County Sheriff's website. Learn what you can and be proactive on this issue. On a Thanksgiving message, tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day, we give our thanks for the bounties bestowed on us by the Creator and for the ideals of honor and faith we inherit from our forefathers, and for the decency of purpose, steadfastness of resolve, and strength of will, for the hard work, courage, and the humility which they possessed and which we must seek every day to emulate. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the best way to show our appreciation is not just to talk, but to act. Let us therefore proclaim our gratitude to Providence for the blessings this county and nation have received, and for the inherited ideals that provide for a strong nation and healthy families, and through our actions of brotherhood. Let us resolve to share those blessings and those ideals with all our neighbors next door, across the state, and with our fellow human beings throughout the world. I wish you all a wonderful Thanksgiving, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Commissioner Scholl. As we've been saying, we attended this board, the annual conference for county commissioners in Eugene this week, and it was always good to see our counterparts from other counties and how they do business. It's also a time for the Clerks Association, County Councils Association, and County Administrators Association to get together with their counterparts and compare notes on the governance and moving forward. Before I went down there, however, I was able to attend the Oregon City Business Alliance monthly meeting, and we got an update from Providence Health Systems on the state of health in Clackamas County, and it was very interesting. One of the first statistics they threw out at us is there's about 500,000 nurse shortage in America starting this year. That's 500,000 nurse shortages in America to fill those important jobs. And many of them are retirements, as we know, but also I suspect many of them is burnout because they served well during the COVID pandemic. And they've decided to create a new position at their hospitals, and it's called a personal patient assistant, a PPA. I'm hoping I get that right. And it's somebody who doesn't really have to have a medical background. They'll give them basic training. It's just somebody who is with a patient in their room if they need assistance in a wheelchair, if they need a glass of water, if they need an adjustment, or whatever they need, just to be with them and talk with them. And that's a way they are alleviating all the duties that nurses perform. And there are many duties. Providence Medical Center is also upping their efforts in the treatment of cancer. And they had an oncologist speak on some cutting-edge technologies. And I asked a question, they submitted questions afterwards. I asked the question, I says, well, it seems to me that all the money in America is focused on cancer. And I said, well, what about heart disease and diabetes? Because I always thought that was the number one killer. So I asked statistically, what are the cases in Clackamas County regarding, and they found those. Ironically, current cases in Clackamas County, about 2,200 are cancer. Heart disease and diabetes combined is about 800. And I found that very alarming. Also, Clackamas County has the highest incidence of breast cancer than any county in Oregon. And I would be really curious as to the why on that. I find that very unique, but I don't know the why on that either. So I thought I'd just share some of those tidbits. Providence Systems is, as we know, Willamette Falls, they have built up, they have built out as far as they can go. They're pretty much limited, and any more growth for that particular facility would have to be built up, and they say that's very expensive. But as we know, we want to keep the Providence system and all of our hospital systems viable and operational to serve all of our health needs. I will not be traveling for Thanksgiving, thank you very much. However, I am dropping a friend off at the airport this afternoon. Martha, maybe I'll see you there. We'll be celebrating dinner with our family and a large extended family, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm very grateful to be able to serve on the Board of County Commissioners with my colleagues here in this room and the colleagues all across the county. And it really is something I look forward to every single day. And I am thankful for my ability to be able to sit at this dais with my fellow commissioners. Seeing no further business before this meeting, we are adjourned.